Hello and welcome to Heather and Hops. My name is Kat, or Catherine, and I'm a knitter based in Hertfordshire. I'm opening with a little bit of footage from our walk on Sunday afternoon. This is our local aquadrome. We occasionally go to the nature reserve there. But yes, so today's video is slightly different. I really love when I get the chance to talk to makers that are doing something interesting in the wool world, and Fliss is definitely someone who is doing something interesting. Fliss is advocating wool, and in a very different way to what I'm used to. Fliss is a shepherdess of some South Down sheep and is really promoting it through nature and using it in the garden as a way into building up what she's doing. Anyway, I thought it was a really fun little chat. There's a few moments that are quite funny, definitely towards the end there's some bloopers. There is a little side guest of a lovely doggo who appreciates their woolly bed, and I also give away my first handspun project. I hope that you have a beverage of sorts, maybe a project of sorts to keep you company. But I do hope that you enjoy this slightly different episode and maybe it inspires you in some way. Hello and welcome to Heather and Hops. My name is Kat, or Catherine. I'm a knitter based in Hertfordshire in the United Kingdom, and today I'm coming to you from somewhere slightly different. Today we are in Horsham. About 4 months ago, maybe even 5 months ago, I came up here, down here, it's very much down, from Watford to visit my lovely sister and my dad to celebrate my nephew's, my own and my dad's birthdays, and we went out for a meal, and on the way we stumbled across the market and we noticed a big sign that said wool shred with a sheep, and obviously we got chatting and ended up a little bit late, which is fine. But I've been desperate to come down here to chat with lovely Fliss about what she's doing here since then, and we finally made time to come down here. Fliss, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name's Fliss Lewis and I'm the founder of Wool Shred, and it's a project, a fledgling project. It's a start-up business based in Horsham. This year I've been playing around with our own wool. We have South Down sheep. We have a small flock of South Down sheep here in Sussex. I'm just really trying to encourage people to use wool in their gardens and homes. So I'm on a mission to try and educate people to use more wool in their garden and homes, and that's why I've got a stall here at Horsham.
How did you become an advocate of wool? Like, what triggered that in you?
It started with, I bought 6 sheep approximately 8 years ago with my ISA money, some ISA money. We'd been having holidays down in Devon, and I'd got to meet a lovely lady down there who's had a flock of Devon and Cornwall longwools, and she was very passionate about her flock. And that passion, I fed off her passion, and they came back and bought 6 sheep. So we had to shear them every year, and we used to swap our fleeces with another lady. She used to supply us a ram, and we used to give her our fleeces, and those fleeces went to her company, and she makes duvets and pillows from the South Down wool.
Wow. No, that's really awesome.
She relocated, unfortunately, to Devon, so logistically it was a bit of a nightmare too. Am I supposed to be talking to the camera, or you?
Either, whatever you want, it's fine.
Sorry.
Honestly, it's all good.
So,
it's more relaxing, you definitely look at me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What am I going to say? Yeah, so she relocated to Devon, so we were trying to find another way of trying to do something with our wool. So I spoke to the Guild of Weavers and Spinners, and sold a few fleeces to them, but it was really difficult to kind of get the wool moving. It's not cost effective for us to get them sent down to the wool depots. By the time you paid the shearer, and then by the time you fueled up, and then taking it to the wool depot. So yeah, I was thinking of ideas, and a few years ago, I had a couple of weeks out where I was basically had to have some time out, and so I did a lot of research on the computer in those couple of weeks. And found out that lots of Europeans and Americans farmers were trying to do something with their wool. And so evolved wool shred, so wool for the garden. Using wool for things in the garden like water retention, slug and snail repelling, basket lining. So I chatted to, I'm going waffling.
No, this is really good. I'm like, tell me more.
So I chatted to a farmer in America. I chatted to a lady who gardens in Europe, and she uses wool in her gardens. So I just did it, and I did a load of research on. There's published research, technical research on the qualities of wool in the garden, about what it can do for growing certain types of plants and vegetables. Yeah, so I am waffling. I'm sorry.
No.
So yeah, that's kind of where it started, and so I started selling our wool. I shredded it, so to make it more manageable. Got it shredded, and sold it to friends and trialed it with friends and family.
So good. We often go up to Scotland to a tea farm, because obviously there's tea farms in Scotland now with climate changing. But she has experimented a bit every year on different methods of keeping them warm over the winter. It's very cold. And they've got a massive breeze actually. But she's recently tried wool, and it does seem to be a really good method, and obviously reuse it if you want to, or just let it
mulch and biodegrade. I mean, I think it's a little secret with the sheep producers, with wool producers and sheep farmers, that you can use the wool. I mean, we do use the wool. When you go onto all the forums and all the websites, all the Facebook things, you see them using their wool in their gardens. And it's trying to bring that out to the public, trying to bring that out to, gardeners who haven't got access to wool or haven't got access to sheep. And it's been really good doing the market here, because I've been chatting to people, and they've been to, RHS gardens, they've been to National Trust gardens, they've been to private gardens where they're actually using the wool. There's a cut flower farm locally in Sussex. They use their own wool for their cut flower farm. So it's just making, using it nicely in the garden for good things.
Making people aware of it too, because as someone that fell into the fibre world through knitting, never once did it occur to me, actually maybe as long as my yarn hasn't been processed, I could spend hours brushing it and reusing it for certain processes that I would never have considered. Like seeing this, like I was like, what?
Come back next week and I've got a Christmas wreath made with wool. So there's another lovely lady I've been collaborating with, or just chatting to about wool, and she's actually been experimenting with reeds. So instead of moss, you wrap wool around your framework, and then you can add flowers or you can add lights. So instead of using moss,
you've got that as
you can
the
use
base.
wool. You use wool as the base. So yeah.
As someone that goes on about I'm a Christmas nerd, that is very exciting to me. Alex?
If you've got, going off the key a bit, the plan in my head is at some point get some willow framing. So get the willow framing and then literally wrap the wool around the willow framing with some twine, black twine, or whatever colour wool you've got. Wrap it round and then you can decorate it. You can put flowers or foliage, or the one I've got at home, I should have bought it, sorry. It just wraps some lights around, battery pack lights. And then, of course, when you're finished, you can then hang it out in the garden for the birds in the spring.
Are you going to sell them? Is that the idea? Or kits?
I don't know.
It's hard to...
I don't know. It's literally happened this week, and I'm like, people saying, "Oh, sell them." I'm like, oh, it's time and
energy to do it,
and to make sure it's cost effective as well.
Yeah. Which is sensible, because so many. I talk about this quite a lot, and actually, I want to have deeper conversations with more people about pricing, and I do believe firmly that a lot of people want to pay for someone that's made stuff. Like, people want to invest in small companies and small people, like small people, but
Yeah,
people
no,
are
yeah.
doing
Small businesses.
things
Yeah.
in a way that they believe in. And I think actually undervaluing yourself and what you do harms other people, and I don't often, that's my fear in life, is to harm or to not be as kind as I could be. And I think thinking about it like that, it makes you feel a bit more comfortable in going, actually, this took.
I think it's difficult. I mean, when I costed out, I seriously wanted to get our Southdown wool, so the white Southdown wool processed into yarn and also, you know, a product, so a shawl or a hat and when I costed that out several years ago, it was thousands of pounds. And that's when my husband said, "Are you mad?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And that's why I went back to the drawing board and tried to look at how else can we use the wool. I mean, I suppose I missed that out earlier. Is the how can I do it cost effectively without too much processing, and so that there is a little bit of money at the end of it, because
You need to keep going.
the processing is incredibly expensive, and even with our gardening wool, we have to get that scoured. We have to get it clean. Definitely require that to be clean before we can sell it on to the public. So, you know, I bought the black wool from the wool board, then had it commercially scoured. The scouring costs money, and then bring it down.
It's not.
And that's just gardening wool.
Yeah.
That's not lovely wool for lovely, beautiful products for wearing, and blankets and hats and gloves and scarves and jumpers, and you know, you can just imagine the cost of that.
Yeah. The smaller your quantity, the more outrageous the price. Just like it is like the difference between having someone hand tailor a suit for you and going to, I don't know, can't think of a brand. Topshop, is that a thing still? CNA?
CNA, definitely not.
Oh, that still exists in Canada? I think. But it is that difference and you've really got to put it, like, you know, have not just small.
I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is, because British wool, we've got a lot of British wool. It's lovely wool. There's a lot of time and effort going into it. It's trying to encourage people to buy into wool. The problem is it's expensive, and I'm trying to find that balance. And also the producers aren't getting paid very much at all, or anything. I mean, I think there's so much been in the press this year about them dumping it, burning it, you know, just
it's a real
throwing
shame.
it, sitting in a dark shed. And when you look at beautiful,
once it's, you know, once you've got the product, it does last. Like, obviously, this will break down, but this will last.
This will last years.
Yeah.
And it's really, another lady I met in the market, she had a jumper, she had it for years and years and years, and then eventually obviously there were a few holes appearing, and then she said to me, I lined one of my hanging baskets with it. So, you know, she's got her years and years of, you know, wearing it, and it's not gone to waste. It's then now lining a hanging basket in her garden. So you just think, fantastic.
Bringing more and more joy. The people that surround me are fully connecting with me because of my love of provenance and, you know, the care that goes behind it. It's not just churning out a jumper for the sake of it. It's the story, and you've got the story, so it's really nice to talk about it. So as much as you want, but can you tell me more about keeping sheep?
Oh, the ups and downs of keeping sheep. Oh my goodness me. So we started with 6. We now have 20. I've just sold some sheep for a new flock locally. So 6 of our lambs this year have just gone. So we're around 20, 26, something like that.
Wow.
Sheep. They're a challenge, but they're lovely. They're absolutely gorgeous. I mean, all our sheep, for our flock, well, they all have names. So whenever a new member is born, they get a name. The girls we keep for breeding. So and the boys, when they're born, I do actually castrate the boys, and they go for meat boxes. So I sell that to friends and family for meat. But you know, it's every day they have to be checked. They have to be checked every day because sheep are renowned for having a little lie down on their back, or putting their head through a fence, or doing things that they really shouldn't be doing. So you have to check your sheep daily. They
It's a bit like Alex Finley.
So there's always something to do. There's a shepherding year, so there's lots of things to consider during your shepherding year. So at this time of year it's tupping, so we're just moving into tupping, what is called tupping. So we're going to put the ram in with the girls in the next couple of weeks. So we've got a lovely ram coming to visit. He's a southbound ram. He's all fit and well and had his MOT. The girls have had their MOT. So he comes in a couple of weeks. He'll stay with them and have a party for 4 to 6 weeks maybe. And then he'll go back to his home. And then the girls will scan them in February to see whether they're pregnant or not. Get a nice scanner in to come and say whether they, what they're expecting, so we can predict what they're going to have, so we can make preparations for that. And then hopefully, if they're all pregnant, or it doesn't matter, but whoever's pregnant, we'll lamb in April. So then we have lambing over several weeks, so that's quite intense. Yeah. So there's not a lot of sleep, a lot of running around, because our sheep, we don't live where our sheep are. They're literally 5 minutes up the road, so we have a camera, so we're always watching on the camera to see what's going on. We're looking for signs and behaviours, and so then we lamb, and then of course then they lamb. Then we're going to make sure the babies are looked after and they're getting their milk from their mums and they're thriving and doing well. And then we go through the summertime, we go into spring, and so that's when we should be shearing. So after lambing we'll shear, so that's when we get our wool, and then they go through the summertime growing and having a nice time, and it's kind of a little bit of a quiet time. And then towards August, September we then wean, so the babies come off their mums, a little bit of shouting going on, so the lambs get taken away, or the mums get taken away, so they can grow up, be on their own and learn to thrive on their own. And then the whole process goes, so the mums then are separated from the babies. They then basically gives them time to recover from feeding them, and to have their udders dry up. And then what happens then, after several weeks of that, then they go on to nice grass, ready for tip-top condition for when the ram comes back in again in November. So that's kind of the shepherding year. There's lots going on. There's lots of things to consider. You've got to make sure that they don't get fly strike, make sure their hooves are right, make sure they're eating properly. Lots of other issues that sheep can have, but you're just making sure that they're constantly looked after and their welfare is paramount.
Just want to cuddle them.
It is cute. It is cute at the time.
And what drew you to the South Down? Obviously, you kind of seen them. Is there anything, or was it just timing?
It was the advice I was given by my friend in Devon. She had Devon and Cornwall Longwall, so she was in Devon, and she just said, if you're in Sussex, the breed for Sussex is South Down. So I mean, the South Down used to roam on the chalky hills of the coastline, between Hampshire and Sussex, and so we went for South Down. So it depends whether, I mean, I love the South Downs because they've got lovely teddy bear faces and they are dead cute. That's one of our lambs there, Faith. She's in the field at the moment, and we've got these lovely photos.
Get some close up to them.
So yes, we're not on clay. We're not on chalk. We're on clay. So there are issues with having the right sheep on the right soil, but we manage. We're okay. So that's why we went for South Down, and they're great starter sheep. They're chunky, solid individuals. So but we love them.
And you think you'll stay with them forever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got that in. Yeah. We love other sheep as well. I mean, I think hubby wants a herdie, and I'd love to have a black sheep, because we're all white flock. I'd love to have a black sheep in the flock. He'd like a herdie. I don't know. I mean, never say never. We might, but our main flock will be South Down.
Look at that face. What are some of your favourite properties of wool? Like, the waterproofing, maybe that.
I love. So all my baskets at home, all my baskets and mages at home are lined with wool. I love the fact that they're just lined with wool. I love the fact that you can reduce the amount of peat-free compost that you have to put in, because you can bulk all the sides and the bottom with wool. It works really well for baskets because you can get some really bright colours in your basket so that they pop against the black wool. So you can line it with like pinks and oranges and reds and beautiful blues, and it looks really great against the hanging baskets. I love the fact that it's water retentive, so you can mix it in with your peat or your compost or your potting mediums, so it helps with water retention during times when we do have a hot summer. I love the fact that it'll just biodegrade and just disappear into the soil and melt away. I love the fact that you can kind of top it up, and it's very tactile, and so you can go around your hanging baskets and your mangers and take a bit off here and pop it in there, and you can mooch around your baskets and plants. I love the fact it's wildlife friendly, so you know, for the slug and snail repelling, you're not doing any harm.
You need some of that.
It's a natural, it's a natural slug and snail repellent. It's not guaranteed. I say to everybody, it's not guaranteed, but it certainly helps. So, I love the fact that. So we had hedgehogs in our garden this year, so that was really lovely. We've had them historically, but this year seemed to be a good one. And the birds can flit in and out, and the birds can peck away at the wool as well. So it's working in harmony with what's going on in the garden. What else? There's so many qualities. What I love about wool is so versatile. You can have it in the garden, you can wear it, you can fill things in the house. It's warm. It's warm, it insulates, and and there's plenty of it. And the girls and the boys will continue to produce it as long as we've got sheep. It'll feed the soil as well, so it will naturally biodegrade, feed the soil with nitrogen. I've got a little experiment going on at home at the moment. It's a bit of a long-term experiment with wood and wool. So when I spoke to University of Brighton several years back, I just wanted to kind of add value to wool, and the suggestion was to compost it with wood because of the carbon and the nitrogen aspects. So the nitrogen aspects of wool and the carbon in the wood. So I've got a very long-term project going on at home in a hot composter where all I'm doing is wood and wool.
Wow.
I haven't opened it up yet. I don't really want to open it up because I don't know whether it's worked. At the top, it's obviously things are going on, and I don't know whether I've hit the optimum temperatures. But yeah,
that's so good. Sorcery, wool is magic.
Also, but it's also good. We've also got another experiment going on which is there's been press press articles for pathways. So up in Scotland and mid-country, they use it as a path liner to repel, sort of absorb the water, and then you can then put stones and stuff on top. So it's great as a good as a weed repellent, but it also absorbs water in boggy areas. So if you've got kind of watery patches or muddy patches in your garden, it'll absorb the water and help with paths. And there's so many. Yeah.
That's genius, actually.
But there's been press articles, about that. I think it's the RSPB in Scotland, and I think the National Trust or one of those organisations using it for fell walking and that sort of thing, where they need to repair the pathways.
That's brilliant. I need to do more research in wool. I really do. We've already discussed that it's not just good for animals; it's good for humans too.
Oh yeah, I'm making dog beds. I'm sort of filling dog beds with it. I've got over there. I did a dog bed for them, and I've got a dog bed for our dog.
Wow.
So I can't sew. I'm not very good sewer. I'm more a practical, hands-on person. I'm kind of more mucky kind of.
I was going to say, are you a crafter?
So we've done Dora, our dog at home. She's got a lovely dog bed filled with wool, and then one of our stall holders, they've got a dog bed for which we filled with the wool, and it's great for the elderly dogs because it's soft, it keeps them warm, it's hypoallergenic, it's naturally fire retardant. There's all so many aspects of wool that are good. So yeah.
Wow. It is good for animals, it's
good for animals domestically and
like holistically,
and welfare for the sheep as well, because they don't want it to stay on.
So you're not particularly a crafter, but you're a maker? Is that the right? You're practical and hands-on. I'm
very practical and hands-on. I've done a little bit of felting, so I did some felting when I was down in Devon. Loved felting, find that quite therapeutic. I don't know whether that's slightly weird, but I do like doing that felting. I used to knit, my mum taught me to knit years ago. I've kind of forgotten, so maybe I need to embrace that a little bit more. Well, a lot more.
No pressure.
I like thinking about ideas. I'm passionate about the wool because I think we've got to do something with wool. I love thinking about ideas about what to do with wool.
Innovator. Yeah. That's the word, not innovator.
Yeah.
That sounds very posh.
Yeah.
Wow. So, what do you make of anything?
I'm very well. I accept that I've got weaknesses.
No.
So
That's not.
I was rubbish at needlework, and so my mum used to do all the needlework for me at school. I used to bake. I like cooking.
Yeah, me too.
So mum used to do all my needlework. I've got some lovely ladies who do all my stitching for me. So all the draft excluders are made by some lovely ladies. I give them the idea. They create the actual kind of outside bit, and I stuff all the wool in. I prepare all the wool for the inside. With the needlers, that's with recycled felt. So that's recycled felt. So I basically get felt from people, kind of cut it up into shape, and then recycle it into garden needlers. This is our garden wool, so there is wool shred in here. So basically, upcycle coffee bean sacks. As you can see, I cut them so they have got that rustic look, fill them, and then I've got a nice guy who gets his industrial sewing machine and just sews them up for me because I'm a bit scared of industrial sewing machines. Handheld. Yeah, they look a bit fierce. Yeah. So I kind of...
You're the creator, the organizer, and do quite a bit of it, really.
I'll come up with the ideas, and then I try. I know my limitations. I'm very happy that I know I've got my limitations. But so I approach people who I know are good at what they do.
And you support other people too, which is also awesome. You're not trying to bite off more than you can chew, and
there's a lot of collaborations that are going on. So so the ladies who did all the needlework, I pay them, and then I take the items to market, and I have to sell those. So there's a little kind of everybody's working together to kind of produce these great things. And so everybody gets, it's all fair. Yeah, the little local businesses getting paid, so that's good.
It is. It's nice because it's very easy to try and go off and do it all on your own.
Well, like with these felting kits, they were at a lovely studio in Suffolk. So I saw something on Facebook, and I approached them and said I'd really love to use our wool in a kit. So I sent the wool to them, and they've done the rest for me. They work because my lovely friend in Devon has just done one. Hers looks slightly like a cat, but it should look like that one. But so it's collaborations and mutual working. That's what I love. I love a collaboration.
I've recently discovered that because without going into it, because I always talk about it, but I came to this through health. So I was very unwell, couldn't do anything at home, and gone from someone that was support working with the community, teaching yoga, like out and about all the time, to being at home, sat knitting. I was like, how can I connect? So this is why I'm here. But now I've got a bit more energy, I'm a bit more stable. The more I'm collaborating, the more I'm excited, and the more energy and just the better I feel, and I love. So hopefully there'll be more.
I think you do, though. I think if you meet passionate people, passionate about the subject that you are passionate about, it don't have to be the same.
Yeah.
It's just a slight.
Well, the more I learn too, the more I love it, and I'm hoping. I've been gifted some really beautiful fleece. I'll show you in a bit, but I'm hoping that spending time with the fibre, what I would like to do is do more of like an in-depth study. So actually not just what the properties of the fibre are and what I can use it for, but who are the sheep? How did they develop? Like, why have they developed their cute little teddy faces? Like, I feel like the more I talk to people about these things, the more I want to learn, and not just in it makes really nice fibre, it makes really nice draft excluders. Actually, who they are too.
I'm hoping it's going to lead, and it is leading on. I'm really pleased that I've managed to process some of our own Southdown. Well, it's the first time I've done that. I know it's only processed into fluff. It's been cleaned and they call it fluff. So I'm learning from the the mill that's in Dorset, and they're brand new and open, and they're really helpful, worth a visit, I think. So I want to sell our own wool. The black wool is for gardening. It's been proved really, they like it because it blends in with the soil and everything like that, but I want that to kind of also enable us to do something more with our own South Down wool. That's what the whole thing is really exciting. So one thing leads on to another. So we've just had some processed, and now I've got to try and I've got to market that and encourage people to use that for their home, for whatever they want to do in their home. So yeah, that's where I'm going. It's just use more wool. Yeah. Wear more wool.
Wear more wool. I've recently discovered thrumming, which I didn't know was a thing.
What's that?
So you knit. So you'll use fibre. So you start knitting, and you'll knit a stitch, but put in fibre on unprocessed wool, and keep knitting around. So you get a fleece lined, but real fleece, not just fleece lined items.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, so that might be a way to. Maybe I'll try that.
Yeah.
But I'd seen it, and I always wondered, how are they doing that? That's sorcery. Like, I can see that that's, colourwork knitting, but the whole inside is this fluffy, dreamy mess. But hot water bottle covers, all those sort of things.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what you think. I'll be interested actually to see what you think of that, because that's the first lot that's gone through their process. The mill are trying to kind of make things work more efficiently and better, obviously, because they're a brand new business. So as and when I open up that, when I'm brave enough to go ding and wool, the wool explosion, I'll make sure you get another bag of that. Yeah.
You have to film a slow-mo video of it. In my head, it will be like a beautiful snow globe, but in reality,
well, it does. It goes like
really?
that. When we did when the wool came, the compressed bales came from being scoured. They are really compressed, and I had to go and get a very sharp tool from a well-known tool place to open that wire. And literally, I asked someone else to open it because it was a bit scary. But we all stood back, and then there was just this mass of brown wool. It just like frothed. It's like a top of a car coming off, like a convertible car.
Wow.
It just like frothed over. And we were like, wow. And it moves all the time. It's like a lava flow. It's shifting. Once you take more off, it just
starts to open up, like the weight of it almost.
It puffs up and moves out. And where I'm storing it, he said, it's moving and it's filling up, just constant movement of wool.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's good. It's expanding. So I think... Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, good.
How's he getting on with his bed?
That's what I wanted to come over and say. He loves it.
Does he?
Loves it, yeah.
Chasing Hayley Racing has rather given up on sunbathing outside now.
But is it okay?
Yeah, I loved it.
Good.
Really loved it. In fact, he does still on a sunny day go outside and ask for it, and then he gets a bit cold, goes back in.
Oh,
Brilliant. That's good.
this lady bought one of my big Hessian sack with wool in it for her dog to lie in the sun.
So good.
Yeah.
You're a very good advocate for it. What we're trying to do is share.
Yeah, he loves it.
Or she might need a...
Thanks.
So
Brilliant.
happy.
Nice to see you. Take care. Bye.
So good. That's what you want to hear.
No more questions?
It's the answer to the universe.
No.
No.
Wool.
I'm
That's
kidding.
the answer to the
The answer. Wool. Wow. That's profound. Really, I was going to just say what's in the pipeline, but I think you've already kind of discussed that. Unless there's more.
In the pipeline, well, I mean, there's a lot of, I've got a lot of wholesaling, not a lot, I've got some wholesaling going on. So behind the scenes, when I'm not doing the market, garden and plant nurseries are selling, and farm shops are selling the wool shred, so and bird nesting products, that sort of thing. So there is that going on. There's a lot of work for me to do behind the scenes to sort of try and get some more wholesaling to be done. And also, as I said, I really want to kind of push our South Down wool to crafters, people who want to use wool for sewing, crafting, filling toys and pillows and
Quilting? Is it
quilting? Possibly. I mean, yeah. So there was a huge amount of work for me to do, and you know, this is only year one.
This is so good. That's really good though that year one is moving. Put in a good word with Camden Garden Centre, honey. And really, where can people find you to connect with you and purchase?
So I am on Instagram. I also have a Facebook group and page. I'm not very technical minded. At the moment, I'm having a website designed for me, and that was courtesy of some grant funding from Horsham District Council. So I applied for some grant funding earlier on in the year. That was allocated out in June, and the website will be coming. The Wool Shred, website will be coming in due course. So that's in the pipeline. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Like I'm pleased that people are supporting you in outer. Okay, that's good. Yeah. And people will be able to maybe get it from your shop online.
When the website opens, there will be products on there. I mean, the market is a really good kind of place to meet people, get ideas, kind of educate people about wool. So it's really nice coming out here on a Saturday. But otherwise, message Instagram, Facebook, and the website's coming soon.
So exciting! Great. Well, I just want to shout about it. And
thank you.
There's a lot of things here that even because I know that some people here aren't makers. So actually, for gifts for gardening friends, but also things like the gardener's hand balm. If you are a knitter, I imagine that being
that's produced by a local family here. They're beekeepers, so they put bee products. They put bee product into their products that they sell online. They are online. So it's just
great.
Bringing in things that complement the gardening theme or the household theme, just to keep things ticking over until we can kind of
sustain yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which is good that you're able to do that too, because the last year has been scary for startups. So it's nice that you've got.
Yeah, it's scary, but it's a really good time to be a startup as well, because I think everyone's just kind of like, let's do it.
And with the climate chat going on, this is
absolutely
should be highlighted more, and that's why I'm so grateful to have spent some time chatting about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's just use more wool.
Yeah.
Wear more wool.
Yeah. I don't know.
Can you edit, Alex?
Yeah.
Oh, I edit.
Is he a top?
I do it, and I'll
Can you make me look 10 years younger?
You do?
Okay. Look good, feel good.
Look good.
Just stand close together and it's a bit awkward. There.
Nice.
It looks a bit awkward. Oh, we're not awkward.
Action.
These bits get edited out.
Yeah, I will. It's fine.
It's fine. Edit all the bad bits.
I don't tend to do that much editing normally. I just let myself, because I become very weird sometimes. I shouldn't be near a camera. So take it. If you don't love it, pass it forward.
I think. You're welcome. Beautiful. Thank you. Beautiful. It's my colours.
Yeah, I did think that there were two, and I just
thank you. Time's precious. Oh, so sweet.
So Blue Face Leicester, and then the other one is White Face Woodland. So they are two single breed.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it suits you a lot.
Oh my god, it just sits in really nicely, doesn't it?